that's going to grow. And then the flowers started to fall off. And I was like, oh, we ruined it. The guiding metaphor of that book is about my search for an orchid plant that would do a second bloom. Because if you've ever bought orchids in the store, you know that they come with these beautiful blooms, right? But most of the time the blooms last, 3 or 4 weeks maybe, and then they fall off, and then the plants are really hard to get them to bloom again.
Okay.
And there's a variety of reasons why that is, but I've always been searching for like a way to get orchid plants to bloom a second time. Customer when you buy them,
Yeah.
right? Just kind of once. Like
And
there
then what do you do?
but there are some people who like try to continue to get them to grow. There are ways to get them to grow, but they're very finicky. Like orchids are very finicky, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't plant them in soil. You sort of plant them in like loose, rocky kind of. It's very finicky. That's going to grow. And then the flowers started to fall off. And I was like, oh, we ruined it. And so I was very disappointed as the flowers started to fall that I wasn't seeing new growth happen. And then it can be like years sometimes to wait for the next growth. Yeah. And just as the last flower hung on for like 4 weeks, and it just was still there and still there and still there. And then finally I saw this little tiny shoot pop out. And then I left for 6 weeks, and my assistant was taking care of it. And when I came back, it had grown this new shoot out. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're just gonna trim it off. And then I wish I could take you in there and show you, because there's now 6 little bulbs
Mhm.
on the new growth. It was so exciting. But it was a big risk, right? Every single human being is like this,
Yeah.
in terms of like, I don't think we think enough about the fact that we are in soil on some level, and we are growing and need feeding on some
Yeah.
level. And we often don't think of ourselves that way, because we just like eat lunch and dinner and breakfast and go to sleep, and don't look for the signs of like, oh, this branch is dead and it
Yeah.
might need to be pruned a little bit, or
Yeah.
hey, you need more water, and you're clearly not getting enough positivity, right?